Hey everybody, and welcome once again to Power Moves. I'm Ryan McIntyre along with Stirling Hart, and today we're in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, talking to Clean Air Yard Care.
That's right. We're going to sit down with Richard Larkin, the owner of Clean Air Yard Care, and he's going to explain to us a little bit what helped him become Canada's first zero-emissions landscaping company.
We're off the grid today on Power Moves. Richard, hey, listen, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for help. You know, we pivoted a little bit. We brought the show outdoors. We thought we got a beautiful day. We've got clean air here in Victoria. We've got Clean Air Yard Care. So it's both, pretty fitting to be out here. Tell us a bit about your business. We've been hearing a lot, and we've been really excited about this episode. I want to hear, how'd you get started?
Well, it was a concept on paper 16 years ago. So 2010, we rolled this out as to be the first zero-emission, solar-powered landscape company. And everybody thought, what a ridiculous idea, which was true. Actually, at the time, the equipment was not great. The battery technology wasn't there. Even solar technology wasn't developed like it is today. It was expensive to start. But the theory was we wanted to be zero-emission, solar-powered from day one. Our slogan was running our business off the grid. We wanted to be the first company to run off our trailers, off our trucks, anything we could charge from. That's what we did. So we started. That was back in 2010.
And so, obviously, setting up an enterprise like that has never been done before, a brand new initiative, got to be a lot of growing pains through that. Was there points where you thought, maybe I'm not doing the right thing? Maybe I should have stuck with what everybody else is doing?
There were moments. In fact, I had a partner back in those days who was really the operations side of the business. And, there was a lot of frustrations because competition would be laughing at us about, us having solar-powered rakes, and the jokes were flying. And so we'd say, that's okay, you can laugh. And eventually we'll get there. But we went through a lot of that. Again, to say just the equipment didn't last very long. It wasn't built to commercial standards. Mm-hmm. The companies were just getting in. Many brands started coming into the market. I was the test dummy for all these brands that, we were the company that broke their equipment for them in the first probably 5, 6, 7 years of our existence. And nothing was lasting commercially. And so we literally put things through the ringer and changed our brands and battery technology and chargers every time we had to make a switch. We had to switch out all the charging and batteries. So there were growing pains and expenses, but we started gaining traction when condos and apartments and larger properties started to recognize that the one big thing we didn't even clue in on initially was how quiet it was.
Right.
And the quiet factor became the biggest factor, ironically. We started it to be environmentally zero emission, no gas, no oil. And then what became the selling point was how quiet we are. People would come and say, were you guys here today? And I'd say, well, why don't you go out and look at your property?
And so, when you talk about zero emissions, I think the first thing that comes to people's mind is, the actual pollution that comes out, carbon deposits and stuff. But noise pollution is probably one of the biggest benefits that you've eliminated by going this route. Was that kind of a big determining factor in doing this?
Well, initially we didn't know it would be such a big deal, but we started getting the feedback from people saying, wow, this is really quiet. And then we changed our little slogan to quietly serving your community, because we started to clue in on the fact that became the number one selling point.
Right.
I'm really curious about the charging setup you have. This is something we've been hearing about going into this one. I find it very, you're almost like a pioneer running solar panels to charge your batteries. Can you talk about that setup a bit? Because there can't be too many people doing this.
No. In fact, the only other one out there is one of my older trailers that I sold to one of my competitors. But and I'm okay with that. We built this to be literally running our business off the grid. That was our slogan right from day one. We were our little mobile power station. That solar trailer, I can charge one of my electric trucks off my solar trailer right now.
Wow.
So we have the ability to really literally run this business with sunshine. And so we've been doing it. We've added, first trailer had 1 panel, then 2, then we went to 4, then went to a 6-panel setup. As battery technology grew, as equipment became more durable, more commercially ready, just required more charge times, bigger batteries. So we're up to the point now where we're caught up, because now we have solar trailers as well as electric trucks that we can charge off of. So we can charge from both the electric vehicles and the solar trailers.
Right. So, I guess you've seen it over this period of time, but how has the technology from the battery side changed over this period where you started, as you said, like the technology early on in the panels and the batteries was probably in its infancy to some degree to do what you want to do. But now, like, how has that changed over time with your business and from the technology side?
Well, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, a lot of the equipment was initially, the battery was, the run times were 15, 20 minutes. The charge times were 2 to 3 hours. So that mathematically, sort of how many batteries do you have to have on hand to make the business work? The early batteries were lead acid batteries that recharged. So they were heavy and large and didn't have an hour runtime and an 8-hour charge time. So as lithium came into the scene, we started to see longer run times and half the charge times. We can get an hour to 2-hour run times now and 30-minute charge times. So that's flipped significantly. So it makes it totally commercially viable. There's no reason why you can always charge up. I mean, we have the added advantage of being able to charge our batteries on the fly, literally while we're driving down the road in our trucks and trailers. They're charging all the time, all the batteries in the chargers.
And I mean, so you've been at this quite a while now, and you've probably been through a different range of tools, different brands, everything like that. Do you find like you've hit kind of what you were trying to strive for from the beginning now in terms of tools?
There's an irony in that for sure. I mean, the technology is at the point now where we are literally at the point where we have tools that are stronger than gas. They have the torque. Just like electric cars, the torque and horsepower of electric cars has come through crazy. So is the equipment.
Right.
So we find that in wet conditions and in difficult situations, the battery power is as powerful, or if not more powerful, than gas. So we've definitely come through that point where and it wasn't there because what's happened, commercial warranties like STIHL, for example, has 3-year commercial warranties on all our product. We didn't have that before. They were the first company to go from 1 to 2 to 3 years warranties. As a business, that's a game changer.
That's huge.
3-year warranties in my world is significant. Yeah. And so we know we got the manufacturer behind us. We got the serviceability of our equipment. We can get supply. We can get parts. So we get all these things. And I've gone through, I could list all the brands, would probably take too long, but of ones we've tried that haven't lasted and have failed, and we have sent them back and moved on and tried again. So we've landed now where we know the business we have now, it's just up to us. How many more clients can we acquire and can we handle? We're just scaling our business every year now. We've grown 20% a year the last 5 years. We keep growing it at that rate where we keep adding more staff, adding more trucks and trailers. So there's no end to it. There's more of an end to me. How long do I want to keep going?
How long do you want to keep doing it for?
That's every business owner, isn't it?
Yeah. But so anyway, we're having fun though right now. We're having a lot of fun with it.
That's a good point in the business to be at. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so have you basically stuck with a single brand now, or do you kind of pick, one from this company, one from that company, the best of each tool?
We used to do that, but no, we've stuck with STIHL now because they provide everything we need. As a landscape maintenance company, which is our primary work, that's what keeps us going. In Victoria, 12 months of the year. Sorry about that, rest of Canada. But we are maintaining gardens here 12 months of the year.
Right.
And that's just what it's like. So we have to have equipment that can last 12 months of the year. Can't break down and need parts that I can't get for 6 months.
And so, I mean, different than the rest of Canada, being a 12-month-a-year landscape business, you're dealing with a lot of, let's call it moisture here. Like we're in a very, very wet climate here on the West Coast. I think a lot of people always worry about using batteries outdoors in those winters. Have you had any issues, or you found
it's funny, of any issues we've had in maintenance and repairs, water and issues have not been an issue in anything. We've never had a shorting issue or a problem with equipment to do with water issues. No, it's been, and let's face it, we get rain in Victoria. So the equipment runs well in the rain too.
Okay.
Certain things you don't trim and do in the rain, in rainy weather, but our equipment does work in the rain. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
To the point of having a true year-round landscaping company, which is unique to most of Canada, and having a 3-year warranty, like you talked, that's a true 3-year warranty. I mean, you're running it for that period of time. You're running them for 36 months. If something's going to break and wear out, it's going to be during that period. I mean, that I can see why that would have so much value to you. Would that have been one of the driving factors that kind of pushed you towards STIHL as your brand? Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, and we started using their equipment over the last number of years, and we saw them building more commercially viable equipment. Right. We were getting good use out of it, even back in the 1-year warranty years. But here we are now. We know we got their support. We can invest now. We're buying the bigger mowers, the bigger batteries. We're investing now in that technology because we know it's going to be with us as we continue to grow.
Did you at the beginning have a lot of pushback from employees? Because everybody would have been used to running gas-powered equipment. Did you have a lot of non-believers, or how was that?
That's how we attracted most people, because many people come from other companies. I have attracted probably the top horticultural talent in Victoria. There's nobody better than any of my crew managers. They've got the horticultural training, the years of experience, They got so tired of going in their trailers, smelling gas and oil, dealing with gas and oil, the fumes, all that. The employees actually suffer quite a bit in those companies using that equipment, especially in confined spaces. And so, no, they love it. They would never go back. They love the new technology. How clean. You open up our trailers, it smells like fresh cut grass. That's all right.
So, I mean, what tools are you leaning on most in your business? I mean, you're working all across Victoria, and I'm assuming outside of the city as well a bit
Greater
too.
Victoria, yeah.
So what specific tools are you relying on daily in your business?
Well, I mean, daily in year round, the blowers are something that's used year round. Whether it's fall or spring, you're always tidying up whatever you're trimming, cutting, whether you're line trimming or lawn mowing or hedge trimming. There's always, those tools are needed. But the blowers are one of the things that consume the most power, yet you will use those year round for sure. I mean, we dust the odd little snow on the sidewalks with our blowers. That's how powerful they are. The odd time we get a little bit of snow, we can use the blowers to clear walkways. That's not uncommon. So I think, but again, they have all the tools, thankfully. Every tool from heavy duty hedge trimmers to chainsaws, pruning saws. We have all of the tools that pretty much Stihl makes. And they all run on the same battery technology, which we love. Yeah. One battery runs all the equipment.
But so running something like a blower to clean off a big site, or say in the fall when there's a lot of leaves, like I know I've heard from people that was one of the hesitations moving to battery and something like that, because it's such a long run time and it takes so much power to run that. Like, can your blowers run off those small little batteries and do a whole job? They
can. However, they have a backpack adapter which holds what they call their AR3000 model. It's equivalent to about 8 small batteries. So that runs the blower for hours. In the leaf season, it's not a problem.
For hours?
Yeah, literally. Like a small battery will run 15 to 20 minutes. You'll get 2 to 3 hours out of a backpack.
Okay, I was kind of leading you there, but I didn't know it ran that long. That's
that's impressive.
If you run anything on what they call turbo speed, the max speed, it's like anything. You can't drive your car like that either. There's times you're feathering, you're up and down on the speed all the time in terms of what you're doing. Yeah. But no question, leaf season puts a toll on the equipment. We've run it through its paces, and again, we never run out of power, because I can take a fresh battery, put it in, and put one on the charger. Yeah. When that one runs out, that one's fully charged again, and away we go.
Do you find that being an off-the-grid company, zero emissions, is that creating opportunities for jobs for your company that aren't available to others?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, yes. In fact, this last year, there have been several part of the RFPs we've been getting from companies. They specifically request that you have at the very least, electric blowers. They don't want to hear the blowers, which can be the loudest.
Well, it's back to the noise pollution thing, right?
So we come back and say, well, that's no problem for us. In addition to our electric equipment, we have our solar-powered rakes as well. So anyway, we literally provide everything electric. So
I'm curious about, Stirling touched on it, but feedback from your employees, and specifically maybe for the larger tools, the lawn mowing units. What are you hearing from them about using these tools?
Yeah, we like the feedback now. Some of the new, just the adjustment features, raising the height of the mowers is a one-handed move. There's the control with how to feather the speed, because we buy the direct drive, the power drive units. The speed of the mower, there's an eco button on it, so when you're not cutting heavy, thick grass. So it's got all of the things, even the new grass catchers make it easy to pop that off and dump it out. Rinse them out, clean them, things are a lot easier and more efficient now. From a commercial standpoint, way ahead of the game we were with the previous models.
Right. So they're almost made for an employee, like the ease of use. Yeah. A lot of people, I think anybody that's cut grass knows what it's like to try and wrestle the grass bag out from underneath.
Yeah. And it's funny because ironically, the earlier mowers didn't have drive systems. They didn't have self-propelled features. That became a luxury when we got self-propelled features. So now they have that. Now the fast walkers can mow a lot faster. They can just crank that thing up and run behind it.
Right.
They work great.
Now they have, like, the newer mowers that have come out still has kind of moved to this mono handle style. Has there been any feedback from your employees on that, or is it just another?
We do sometimes fold them up, collapse it up for popping it in and out of a vehicle or in the back of a truck or up on the it makes it a lot easier just to put it.
Right.
It's kind of a one-click move, and it's folded up and ready to go. Very easy to handle. They're lighter, they're lightweight, which we like.
Oh, really?
You know, the batteries, we take the batteries out, which adds a lot of weight to the equipment, but without the batteries, they're very easy to move around.
Okay.
Even with the batteries in it, they're not super heavy. Most of the people in my world, as I, jokingly say, most of the guys are pretty fit. You know, we have a good mix of, and I shouldn't say guys. I mean, we have women and men in our crew, always have had. We've had a great mix of that. That makes our business work great.
Of course. I always find it interesting, and, we've talked with other folks and heard about the value of dealing with dealerships versus maybe big box stores. And I wonder does that have any influence for you as a business owner on choosing the brands you choose to use for your business?
Absolutely. It's really what it's really all about to run a business, because it's like we have to be able to have the equipment in operation. We can't have downtime for weeks and months, we experienced that. We tried a lot of those brands that are, I would say, great for home use, where it's not critical that you cut your grass maybe next Sunday.
Right.
We cut every day. We're using the tools every day. We have to have the equipment that works. We have to have the dealer network that can support parts, service, and we have that with STIHL. We didn't have that before. And like I say, we've been through a lot of equipment, a lot of brands, and some of them are very good, but they're not built for the commercial market. They're not built to run 4, 6, 8 hours a day. And that's how our equipment is used.
Yeah, of course.
And I mean, obviously, over the years now, you've gotten Clean Air to a comfortable position. Like, it seems like it's running quite successfully. Where do you see the company going, or where do you see the industry going? Because you've been around long enough to see it make this change. So how do you see that moving forward? Yeah,
it's no question. This is the future. The business now, those landscapers that are adopting battery and even solar charging technology are going to be miles ahead of those who are resisting it. Yeah. And the good thing about it is there will always be people who resist new ideas, and that's good. They can stay there. But unfortunately for them, they won't be around in 5 or 10 years if they don't switch. And that I can say, I'd put money on that statement, because there are bylaws happening in municipalities, even one here in Victoria, that's banned gas-powered equipment, and that's going to become a thing that once it gets out there, and it's happening we've seen it happen in states, different places south of the border, but also it starts happening in our own backyard. Then we have to wake up and smell the roses. Yeah. So, which we've done, and we're not at risk. We'll acquire more staff, more clients. We're just scaling our business. I'm building this company now for my staff to take it over. That's the idea. I've got a great succession plan for my employees to own the company. And I think a lot of landscape companies will ensure their longevity if they do have that same kind of thinking.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're like STIHL. You'll be here for 100 years more.
Mm-hmm. At least the company probably will be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. I will be. Yeah, we may not be. But, one thing that I was thinking about coming into this interview. So, at my old house, since sold it, but I'd gone with solar panels on that place, and I know there was a feeling that came with that. Like, there was a cost savings over and above, a little less money on electricity, of course, but it also felt good to know that, okay, I'm reducing my carbon footprint. I just kind of wonder if that is something that you take a bit of pride in. I would. I mean, I did. So I'm just kind of curious if you feel similar.
It's my legacy for this industry. I mean, I know I've built this to the point where if we'll be known for one thing, it's the company that changed the game. Yeah. And for the better. Just no question. I mean, and just from the pure business sense, just common sense, I save $500 a month per vehicle in fuel.
Oh, wow.
And not to mention the fuel costs, which everybody else knows what those are in running their equipment. I don't have any of those.
Yeah.
Especially and with Sunshine, we have all the power we need. So
especially today.
Your
batteries are charging while you're sitting here.
Right now, my trailers are gathering Sunshine. They're loading up those batteries. They'll be ready to go 100% tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Not stopping at the gas station on the way home from work.
Nope. Driving by and smiling.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Richard, this has been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us, sit down on Power Moves, and I think it's very fitting that we got to sit in the sun for the afternoon and talk about your business. But thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the time. Awesome.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us on another great episode of Power Moves. Richard Larkin, Clean Air Yard Care. Thanks so much to him for joining us. What a great episode.
Was Ryan. If you'd like to learn more about today's episodes, battery technology, or Clean Air Yard Care, you can check us out at stihl.ca.
And you can watch past episodes of Power Moves wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us.